Alright, one, two, three. So awkward. Oh my god. Hey guys, it's Kim, back with another video. Before we start though, let me give you some quick updates. Number one, cut my hair. Yes, just forever looking like a schoolgirl. Number two, I started studying Leatherman and it's super fun. And third update, oh, it has some fun effects. It's so pretty. Okay, enough of that. Let's get on with the video. So the title of the video says Google Translate Your Life with Tarot. Kind of sounds like a quick fix or some kind of a tarot hack. Yes and no, because it is somewhat of a tarot hack. I think it will definitely help anyone with their tarot journey, and I think hopefully it will inspire you. As some of you may know, I'm an English tutor in real life, so I like to draw parallelisms between different things and different experiences with language learning, and a lot of things are like language learning, and the process of reading tarot cards is kind of like translating work. It's like translating between two languages. So let's start with Google Translate. Some of the qualities that Google Translate has is basically it's a quick reference tool. You can kind of use it as a dictionary, right? You can kind of plug in just like a really quick word or like a really short phrase, and it'll give you a pretty accurate translation. And then the translations get a little bit wacky if you insert something longer, like a paragraph or maybe some sentences or something that has more of a symbolic meaning, something that has a connotation instead of just like a dictionary meaning. When a text that you want translated becomes longer, and Google Translate will give you the gist of it, but you have to kind of figure out the nuances and the subtleties within the language yourself, based on your understanding of the other language that you're translating. In this way, Google Translate, or doing translating work, is exactly like the process of tarot. You're trying to translate between two languages, right? The symbolic language of tarot, and then the language of your soul. And by the way, I call it soul speak just because it sounds really cool. Why do I say soul? I think if you want to deepen your practice with tarot, you have to deepen your relationship with yourself. When you start studying tarot, you would try to, read books about it. You would, look up web pages about it. Maybe look up some tarot tubers talking about a tarot decks, right? You will be looking at the definitions, the traditional or the conventional definitions of each tarot card, right? You will look at what the elements mean. You will look at the different numerological associations, that kind of thing. You will be like textually studying into it. And then the next step will be application, right? You would try to, after you learn all these definitions and different associations, you would try to bring your own personal understanding to it. You would try to inject your own flavor, right? Because you don't want to just have, just memorized all the definitions, because then your reading would just be really dull and you will be really formulaic. It will be the same as everybody else's. So you want to try to bring your own understanding and your own perspective into your tarot reading. And that's what makes tarot readings interesting, because everybody has a different set of worldviews and everybody has a different set of wisdom that they can give, and that's what makes tarot readers awesome. And because you're trying to bring more you into your tarot practice, you're trying to bring more flavor, your relationship with yourself will be reflected in your relationship with tarot or the different tarot decks, or maybe one card in particular. Okay, so this is when interesting stuff comes in. Usually what you consciously recognize, or maybe a piece of wisdom that you've already gained from your experience, or some kind of insight, or the aspects of yourself, or the archetypal wisdom, or the different kinds of the archetypes that you already resonate with, right? That's already within your psyche, that's already really integrated in your psyche. Those are the cards that in terms of definitions or associations, those cards would come like really easy for you. When you're working with your tarot decks, I think especially in the beginning, you would encounter these three types of relationships, or three characters or personas. The first group, I call them the peeps. So these cards are the cards that you are really familiar with. These are archetypes or archetypal concepts or experiences that you really internalized and you can already resonate with, and they're probably already integrated into your personality. The second type of relationship, I call them the acquaintances. So these are like the people on your Facebook. They're on your Facebook and you kind of know them. You might have met them a couple of times, so you don't really know them, and you mark them as acquaintances because you don't want them to see your personal statuses and that kind of thing. So it's kind of like there's a degree of familiarity to them, but they're still kind of distant. It's like they're not really part of your social circle. So when you apply this to tarot, they're like cards that you can sort of understand on a theoretical level or on a logical level. You can kind of know the concepts, like you can understand it mentally, but usually they're not something that you really practice in your own life. Like it's not something you have taken to heart. It's not something you've really maybe addressed or maybe really got in touch with throughout your own life. The third type of relationship, the third character, initially I called them the strangers, but then I started calling them alien, and I just kind of like the term so much better because it's like a different life form. It's like, what is this card? It's like, I don't get it. I mean, the definitions say this, but it's just not. These are cards that you probably, or what these cards represent, what these archetypes represent, they're probably things you have either not yet recognized about yourself, things you haven't really unearthed from your psyche, things you repressed or maybe have been oppressed by other people, or it could be an archetype that's been sort of distorted, maybe because of some of the experiences in your life, so you either just consciously don't want to face it or you're unconsciously just trying to push it away. My example would be, I always had trouble with the Emperor card. It was just like a WTF card. I was just like, every time I showed up in a reading, I would just be like, why are you here? I always had trouble with that card because I'm a very soft-spoken person, maintaining personal boundaries and being really unapologetic about what I want and kind of just expressing my own desires or even just expressing my emotional truth. That's really hard for me. It's still a journey for me. It's something I work on every day. I try to be more grounded in my personal authority, and not in a bossy way, but just in a way that I want to make sure that I'm heard by people. But now, after I really started showing up for myself, after I started really expressing my needs and my voice, my relationship with the Emperor has improved. Now it's a card that I can really listen to instead of just like, oh my gosh, I think the process of trying to identify or recognize the types of relationship that you have with certain cards in your tarot deck will definitely help you with your relationship with yourself. And I think the more you speak your own language, the more you speak the language of your soul, the more you can understand yourself better, the more it will help you understand tarot cards better, because tarot cards, that's the entire human experience. I think that if you want to understand tarot better, if you want to deepen your relationship and strengthen a relationship that you have with tarot cards, you have to do the same thing with yourself. Kind of like you have to learn your own lessons first so you can have the wisdom. Those pieces of wisdom can be sort of guided out and drawn out by the tarot cards, and those wisdom can be applied to yourself, or you can give this wisdom to another person. Alright, that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as a little add-on bonus, why it's not really a bonus, I guess it's something I was gonna do and post it anyway, I created a bunch of exercises, journal prompts, and a tarot spread for this topic. So if you want to work with certain tarot archetypes more, if you want to explore your relationship with tarot and also explore your relationship with yourself, you can check out the blog post. Links down in the box or here. And yeah, that's it. Bye! Oh, this is so shitty. Restart.